Friday edition of Pick Central. We're live on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube channel. I'm your host once again, Ben Mintz, filling in for our esteemed regular host, Brandon Walker, who will be back on Monday. He went south to Mississippi for a couple weeks, and he was dealing with the death in his family, and it was good for him to get back and spend some time in the South after he grinds so hard up here, especially after our Omaha trip. Looking forward to getting him back. Also, Rico and Marty Mush are out today. But, Ev, you are back with us again today. And I got to say, man, we've had a good time all week doing shows, and looking forward to another one today.
I've had a blast doing the show, you Mincy. Always do. It's Good Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. Just one Friday closer to football Fridays. Feel good. The weather's good. Might hit the pool later. Going to go home to my parents' house. Maybe take a dip in the pool. My guy Zaz feeling me. We're just going to vibe out. I seen one thing I wanted to ask off the top. I almost think we had to address it immediately. Our guy TJ was at was at the New Jersey Jackals game last night.
Yeah, New Jersey Jackals.
With Frank the Tank doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Tell us, so for those who don't know, there was a massive, I guess, TJ will say it better, but my understanding was there was a brawl that broke out between the players in the field and the stands, a little Jersey Mouse at the Palace. TJ could tell us his first-hand account of what the fuck happened.
Yeah, so it's, I think it's like independent league baseball or some sort of associated league. But anyway, Sussex County Miners versus the New Jersey Jackals, which is the team that Marty played for last year. Frank was there to throw out the first pitch, do a hot dog review on the field. They had him do some other stuff. And while we were judging, a hot dog eating contest, I turned around and we were on the third base side, and on the first base side of the field, all of the players on both of the teams were in the stands. So I ran over, whipped out my phone. I had a camera with me too. I got some higher quality shots, which Frank will put in his hot dog review when it comes out. But this is the video of what I saw by the time I was behind home plate.
Wow.
Frank's on the third base side still.
Frank was safe. Frank was all good.
Frank was taking pictures with the fans. But it was dollar beer night at an independent league game, and it was their biggest crowd of the year because Frank was there. So everybody was just disgustingly drunk. And also, this was in the 7th or 8th inning. It was 10:30 p.m. The first two innings took 2 hours. I think the score at this point was 14-12. So people had been just drinking for 4 straight hours on dollar beer night. And they were throwing beers into the opposing team's dugout, so the players jumped into the stands to figure it out themselves.
That's where that was probably the information that was the big missing piece.
Yeah,
kind of why that happened. I can, some degree, I think if I was playing a game and it was going 7 hours long and someone threw a beer at me, I'd probably want to fight them too.
Also, you're making $2,500 for the entire season, probably. That probably makes you a little angry.
I know they're technically professionals. If you had told me they paid to play, I wouldn't have been shocked.
Right, yeah.
Well, when Frank shows up, all hell just breaks loose yet again, huh?
Guy, the man's an electric factor. It's just a lightning rod to that stadium.
I mean, respect the raw dogging though.
Let's
finish off with the contest. Then then we can do our thing.
You might get hit with a beer. If Frank's judging a hot dog, you wait to throw that punch. You keep that inside you.
There you go.
You let Picasso finish his painting, and then you go up in those stands. You do what you got to do.
Frank's first pitch wasn't too bad either.
No, it was good.
A little bit,
that was a good first pitch. Very accurate.
I thought that
online.
I respected the effort.
TJ with some great camera work, getting all the angles. He's going to do a little turn here.
Yeah, Frank has a person that edits his hot dog reviews for him. This is going to be the longest hot dog review video he's ever posted because there was so much that went on last night.
It's like a vlog.
Also, I know I was talking to Nick Hamilton about it. This pitch, not much worse than Feidelberg's pitch at the same stadium last year.
That really was not a bad. I would even say even for a normal some A-list celebrity throwing out a major league game, I wouldn't say that was a bad pitch at all.
No.
I really wouldn't.
Frank's main goal was to not be worse than 50 Cent.
If that was the goal, he smashed flying colors. TJ's a UFC fan. You saw Derek Lewis's pitch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Frank's pitch was 10 times better.
Yeah.
He threw it straight to the ground.
Frank did have spider tack on him though, so he was lucky that he didn't get checked.
They don't check for that in the independent
He
leagues.
literally took some from PFT, and Big Cat had some in the PMT studio. He put some on his belt before he left. And he loaded up before he pitched.
I seen him try it during the day, and he said he had to go to Rite Aid or Dwayne Reed to get baby oil to get it off.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put it directly on your skin. You're supposed to like mix it with rosin or
He
something.
put like a glob of it on his fingers, and then he went to wash his hands. And then when he tried to dry his hands off with the paper towels, the paper towel got stuck to his hand. He couldn't get it off.
It's legit stuff.
That's
awesome.
Well, I saw PFT had some at the ping pong in Stillstream Stadium yesterday, and he like had it on his hands, and he couldn't even throw the ball up to serve. Despite the attack was so strong.
I mean, apparently it's the real deal. We're seeing the impacts of it on Major League Baseball. That it's gone for sure.
Have y'all? I threw a first pitch once for NAI college baseball for LSU Shreveport for the Pilots a couple years ago, and I got to say, I threw a perfect strike.
There we go, man.
I mean, like perfect.
Is
I was
there
nervous.
Any footage of that out
I'll
there?
run some down. There is. It's
You gotta
documented.
pull up the logs.
Yeah, it's documented fact. I was shocked I actually did good on it. It was their first pitch game of the season too.
Love that opening day first.
Opening
pitch?
day, first pitch. Yeah,
Opening the
clapped
season.
and, yeah, opened the season for the Pilots, man. I was pretty pumped about it.
That's awesome. That's funny. I'm definitely never throwing out a first pitch. I would take any and all opportunities to throw a first pitch out. I don't care who it is. If they
Kind of nerve wracking.
if they want me to come out to
everybody's staring at
if they
you.
want me
you
to come
know?
out to Goshen Little League and throw out the first game, I will throw it out 100%. Yes, I'll be there.
We got a bunch of stuff to get into today. First of all, everybody was excited to get baseball started back last night, but this COVID's hit the Yankees.
Man, it just never ends. It never ends. It's the one thing, like you're thinking the vaccines out, blah, 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 which people have their opinions out, whatever. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just talking about the Yankees just having another just shitstorm happen. So apparently Judge's COVID, Urshela has COVID. They're in a COVID protocol at least. Higashioka has COVID. I think there might have been some potential coaches, I believe, maybe.
The worst part is that it was Judge who was at the All-Star game, so that could be a way bigger issue.
For sure. I mean, I would imagine they're probably, I know they pretty much already said they're not playing tonight, I believe. They're probably not going to play the series, which stinks. I mean, I don't know how much, I guess it stinks for the Yankees. They're 6-0 against us this year, but just another shitstorm to start the season. So we were talking about how we thought we were basically this year, because of the finals, we were going to avoid the sports solar eclipse and have at least one thing of sports every day. And this cancellation caused all that. We had the solar eclipse. There were absolutely no sports in this. I know there was soccer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, the Open.
No core 4 sports.
No core 4
brutal.
sports last night. Major League Baseball starting back up big again today. We'll get to our picks a little bit later. Do want to mention the Open Championship. Colin Morikawa, 64 today.
Crazy. It's
What
so
a round.
crazy with the Open that you just like wake up and a guy shots. Before I've even opened my eyes, a guy shot 7 under.
Yeah. It's weird. I do enjoy following the major championships, but not near enough to be up at 5 a.m. watching them.
Yeah, no, I see the majors are great, but it is a little bit annoying when you don't get to see. It's not as bad as the first few days. I think those days it's kind of cool to like wake up and be like, let's see what happened. But on Sunday it's nice, like you want to be a part of it, like you want to like see the ending. What I did, Mincy, yesterday, I think I mentioned to Marty. I don't know if I said it on air. I put in a bet last minute just yesterday because I wanted some early action as I like to have. So I put in a bet that I thought was Rory McIlroy to beat Justin Thomas for the day. It turned out it was for the entire tournament. Absolute worst when that happens, when you see at the end of the day that McIlroy won the round by 2 strokes and you're thinking you cashed your ticket, and then you go to check and you didn't cash and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then you realize, oh shit. It's for the tournament. Brutal feeling. And then what's even worse, when they have the late round, so then you wake up today and you see what happened, and you realize that now McIlroy, instead of having a 2-shot lead, now he's one back of fucking Justin Thomas. So that's how this week's been going.
Well, the leaderboard looks pretty good. I mean, Oosthuizen is Morikawa 9 under, Oosthuizen 8 under. Jordan Spieth continues his return to prominence this year. He's 7 under.
He's so due. So due.
But he's been playing well this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's just due to break through. I mean, just the way he took over. Like, people were literally talking about him. See, people have weird memories where I think especially America, we get hyped in the moment and we want to compare things to other things. So when we see Spieth having that run like he had a few years back, there were people legitimately talking about him like, is he the next Tiger? Just that short, dominant run he had for that 2 years ish.
Yeah, and another thing with Spieth too is he always plays so good at Augusta, and if you play well at the Masters, that's the Super Bowl basically.
Well, I think
everybody sees that.
Wasn't it? It was the Masters, right? The one when he hit the ball in the water on was it 12 maybe, and that was kind of the beginning of the collapse.
Oh man, he had a big lead and he blew. I think he had like a 10 or 11 on 12.
That's what I think what it was. I know he hit it in the water. Maybe maybe even did twice. I know he did at least once. I know he had that epic collapse, and I feel like that kind of was when things really, really turned. Because I feel like he just really wasn't even the picture there for a little bit, and then now as of recently, the last year or so, he's been playing much better. So I mean, it's just good to have stars in the leaderboard.
No,
and Morikawa was a young star. I thought even on Pick Central not on Pick Central. We love to have him on Part of My Take. He just had a really good personality. I thought he was a really cool guy. I think
Rico loves him.
Rico owes his life to him. When a man wins you 30 units, they get a unit from you for the rest of your life. Done, no questions. So hopefully Rico's on him this week too. Maybe he pulls out another one.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does, and we'll be following the Open Championship all weekend. NBA Finals starts back tomorrow. 2-2 heading back to Phoenix. We got a hell of a series on our hands. This is like the penultimate game 5 because the Bucks are going out west with some momentum. Yeah,
it's Suns are laying 4. It's kind of a square feeling, but I feel like it's kind of just the way the series has went so far and keep just riding the wave. I mean, I think this is a home court's shown its face. It's definitely a big factor. I think we get a big bounce back from Chris Paul. Like I'll be taking the Suns, the home team tomorrow, laying the points.
Yeah, but the home team's 4-0 against the spread in the series.
That's what I'm saying. Chris Paul is going to bounce back.
Yeah, he had such a rough game. It was tough for the Suns because they wasted Booker's just monster effort.
I mean, think about like them staying in the game like that with that important of a piece playing that bad for you. I mean, it's kind of because the game before or 2 games before, I think it was game 2 in Phoenix. That Giannis kind of did the same thing with Middleton. Like Middleton was just awful, but Giannis has had that crazy game at 40-some points and just was able to at least keep him in it, but then just couldn't pull it out in the end. But I think Chris Paul bounces back. I think the Suns take a 3-2 lead. I mean, this is the swing game, obviously. Anytime it's a best of 3. That's what it is. It's a best of 3 with 2 of them in Phoenix.
Yeah, and you got and the home court is certainly hell served. And both something we mentioned, but I want to just reiterate. So much in sports is about the major markets. Man, both these fan bases are awesome. I mean, the atmospheres have been great in Phoenix and Milwaukee, and I'm just glad to see that. I always preach this in sports. It's great when every fan base gets to have their due. Because I just think I know it's better for like ratings when the bigger markets win, but I want all fans to get some joy. Like I hate when, and like for Phoenix, who's never won one, Milwaukee won one back in the 70s. I mean, this is just great for all their fans.
Yeah, it's funny because I never really had to deal with, I was definitely lucky to be a Giants fan, Yankees fan. I deal with it with the Knicks, but kind of just having teams that have had success in my life, I've gotten to witness my favorite teams win championships, and I know there's a lot of sports cities, great sports cities that haven't had that. And finally, when I went out to Ohio State, and I remember going to bars for like a Thursday night Browns game. And when I was in Ohio State, I mean, that was like the Manziel years. I'm talking 1 in 15.
Those were tough times.
Some bad years.
As opposed to the other
and I'm talking, Mincy, I'm telling you, at 8 o'clock, we're at the bar on a Thursday for Thursday night football for like a Browns Steelers or something where they're going to get killed. And in the bars, here we go, Brownies, here we go, who. And the things like that and just how loyal these Browns fans were. Obviously, things have turned a little bit recently, but just how loyal they were when they just lose so much. I have such a respect for that just as a passionate sports fan. You have to love to see it. Like I know people like to rag on teams like that because I think you have obviously certain sports cities like Boston and stuff that have been obviously been spoiled. But I mean, when you see like a city like that they are just so bad for so long and they are still just as passionate as ever, just as diehard. It's a great thing to see. It's beautiful.
Big shout out to our YouTube chat. They're all talking. We've got just kind of sports fans commiserating on being part of tough fan bases. And, you know, I think a lot of that is in me just because I'm an Ole Miss fan, and you know, and like as an and I actually like trained my brain to handle it, to where I realized that when I lived and died with it when I was in college and I was young, I was like, man, I'm just gonna be a miserable son of a bitch the rest of my life. Like if I can't enjoy winning 7 or 8 games and beating a rival and having fun with that, what's the point of being a sports fan, you know? And so I think it makes me really happy when people that don't get to win often win.
You know, and it's funny because that just kind of reminded me of you saying, like, it just feels like you're never going to win again. When obviously, like I said, I was lucky to be a Giants fan. Being a Giants fan for, like, especially my lifetime has been maybe one of the biggest roller coasters in sports. Like, we've had these just massive high peaks, obviously win the Super Bowl, beating the Patriots, whatever. But then these massive lows of just being bad, not making the playoffs. And these last few years before Judge came around, like when we drafted Daniel Jones, I think part of the reason I freaked out when they drafted him was obviously because I don't want Daniel Jones. But another big part of it was just me not believing him and me thinking this is such a bad play, not believing in Gettleman, and just having that feeling of frustration where we were just so bad for a few years in a row and just a big stretch. Other than that 1 year with McAdoo's first year when we made the playoffs and we got blown up by Green Bay, we just had such a stretch of being so bad that I think when they picked Daniel Jones, I just had this breaking point of like, we're never going to fucking win again. And I think that's where, like, mentally, I respect so much these sports fans that like have to deal with this forever because, like I said, I've dealt with it the Knicks. It's just an absolute dumpster fire until literally like this year pretty much. And now we're talking about all the, I don't know if you saw it today, little Dame Lillard, that he requested the trade apparently.
Wait, well, really?
And that, so I guess the teams he said, so I love the blue check mark. I hate the blue check mark brigade, but I love them in the sense that a guy with a blue check mark tweets Damian Lillard is interested in going to the Knicks. I'm all in. I can't help it. They play with my emotions. It swings all over the place. I don't know what to do. I sweat.
Dame would be, talk about a perfect MSG gunner point guard.
Oh, dude.
I understand why you're so excited because I'm just having the mental thought of him and MSG and the passion of this town and with the Knicks already building. Oh, my God.
This is all it takes. Like, that's all it takes.
I feel like you've got
a guy. All it takes is a guy. Oh, I'm torqued, Mincy. I'm hard.
Full torque.
I'm bricked up. All it takes is a guy with like 7,000 followers and a blue check mark to put Damian Lillard and Knicks in the same tweet, and I can't help myself. I don't like. I can't. You heard me this whole offseason say I'm not going to let myself get excited about Dame Lillard. It took one tweet from one blue check mark. I'm back in.
Well, I mean, you saw the Knicks built up so much and are on the right path already, and they're literally one superstar like that away from being a basketball.
See, with Lillard, I'm very curious to see the trade package. I would have to imagine. I really hope this wouldn't be the case, but a part of me has to imagine that R.J. Barrett would have to be kind of the centerpiece. Oh, you're gonna trade.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see.
Are you looking for like a sign and trade kind of thing here?
Well, I don't see. I think so. I think that would be kind of the. Well, I think he's got a few years under contract. Like I think he's under contract until I believe 2023. So I mean, he's got a couple of years left, maybe even later. But it might even be 2025. It might be a while. But regardless, I know he's got a few years left. I would have
2025.
There we go, 2025. So not really a sign and trade. We just got him. We're paying him a shit ton of money. It would have to be Quickly's got to go. Obi's got to go. First round picks this year for years to come have got to go. This is a guy in his prime.
Whatever you got to do, you got to do here. As long as you keep Lillard and Randall as number two, I feel like you can build off those two Tibbs.
This is a guy who is a primetime player. Like you said, perfect for MSG. He's in his prime still. He's got 4 years left in his contract. Build around him. Figure it out. Whatever you need to do, New York Knicks franchise, James Dolan, Leon, whoever needs to figure this out, figure it out, please. We have needed a guy like this for so long because Randall was like a fake that guy. Like, I love Randall and I love what he did this year. He has morphed himself into what I believe is a star player. He's not a superstar. We need a superstar. And Damian Lillard is a superstar.
Well, speaking of getting your mind right, let's talk about one of our sponsors of today's Pick Central, BetterHelp. Life is full of stressors. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have. Your life is probably stressful. You may not be feeling down and out and depressed or like you're at a total loss, but if your stress is high, your temper is shorter than usual, or even if you're starting to feel strain in some of your relationship, you could probably use the chance to unload. Unload the stress and get it out. Talk to someone who's completely unbiased about your life. Someone who isn't going to judge or take sides on anything. When there are things you can't tell anyone or feel like you can't tell your family and friends, you need to let it go, and that's what therapy can be. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Unload the stressors and get some unbiased feedback. You'd be pretty surprised what you might gain from it. See if it's for you. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/picks. That's BetterHelp.com/picks. A couple things to touch on. Speaking of the BetterHelp, Richard Sherman getting out of jail without bail. It looks like. Are you following the story?
I haven't followed it like too much. I've seen it to some degree. I saw something about that he was intoxicated and that he was talking about committing suicide. I guess he had mentioned it. I don't know. I haven't seen it too much. I know something with his wife. I don't fully know the full story though.
I just hope he gets the help he needs because you just hate to hear.
No, of course. I don't know if you had seen it like more than I have.
I just saw that they're gonna. Well, they said when they put him in jail it was no bail, and now they're gonna let him out without bail. And his wife came out in support of him. I think he just kind of lost it a little bit mentally. So I just hope he gets the help he needs. You just never want to see anybody go through anything like that. And Sherman's, I can't say he's the guy I've loved the most on the field, but he's had an incredible career. But he's also, Stanford educated and given a lot back off the field culturally and stuff. So, just hope for the best. What's up with this Dwayne Haskins story, too? I want to get to this.
So this is one I got tagged in a couple times because I've definitely been a Dwayne Haskins rider in my past. So basically, my understanding of the story is he got into an altercation with his wife where he caught the grunt of it. I don't really know I don't know exactly what happened. They've talked about that he suffered injuries like a split lip. He had a tooth knocked out. I don't really know the full story. I hope everything's all good. I hope he's all right. I hope his wife is all right. I think I believe they were in Vegas because they just renewed vows or something like that. I still don't know too much into it. I guess it's hard to get too much into it. It's a weird thing to talk about. Domestic violence, no bueno on either side, obviously. So I hope he's all right. I hope she's all right.
I do too. I mean, I feel like he's turning into such a sad story. Because, I remember that run he went on at the end of that year at Ohio State when he threw for like 500 yards in the Big Ten title game against Northwestern.
Mincy,
the last 5 or 6 games, he had like over 2,000 yards and 20-something. I mean, he had a stretch at the end that was like he threw for over 400 every game. He threw for 4 or 5 TDs every game. Obviously he's from Maryland, ends up in D.C. playing for the football team. I mean, it just all came together. Za's going nuts. What's up, Za?
Oh, no, there's a revolution brewing out there. Jack Mack was out there fighting for the small man. But do continue. Don't
No, I want to hear him. Tell me more.
Don't mind me. So I actually wasn't there, but apparently there's a little fracas going about the people. The little fracas going on about people that are down at the Jersey Shore house. That's as much as I know.
Well, I know we got a huge crew down there, and I saw Dave actually. Everybody tagging the Balls beachwear.
It's big. It's coming soon. It looks great. It looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I can't say I guess I went to Ocean City, Maryland once for a bachelor party. I don't know. That's not Jersey Shore though.
No,
it's DC. Right?
I think it's similar. I mean, I've never been down there. That's kind of what it seems like. That it's obviously young party crowd. We got to get you down to the Jersey Shore, Mincy. It's a time.
So I've been to like the south version of the Jersey Shore is like Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama. Like on that Alabama-Florida border. Like the Floribama is this just super famous bar that just gets insane in the summer. That's like multiple stories, live music, tons of levels. I think that's kind of like the south version of it, I guess I'd say. We call it the Redneck Riviera. And so that's kind of where if you're from the deep south, you've done the Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, like Destin. That's kind of the version of it. So that's more what I know. But
it's just
I'm thinking about getting to Jersey this weekend.
It's a different world, Mincy. You'll especially someone like you that's spending a lot of their time in the South. It is some people.
The people watching's off the chart.
It's the best, and it's funny because I say this like I don't fit in, but I mean it's just a bunch of creatures. like me, people like me, like Martin, like Rico. There's a bunch of creatures down there just fist pumping and just drinking and just partying and just it's just the most like disgustingly beautiful place on earth. That's how I would
that's
describe
kind of
it.
poetic. Disgustingly beautiful.
That's how I would describe it. It is just like trash, but like the best at the same time. You will have it like if you know the right places to go, like you can't have a bad time. Like it is just awesome.
So a lot of the guys that are over there, is this from the High Noon thing?
Yes,
They won the house, and so
they're doing some.
Glennie and Pat won it.
It was
Pat.
It was Glennie, Pat,
Vibbs and
Keegs, I believe.
Marty gave it to Keegs. So the drama starts from Jack Mack tweeted it. He tweeted something to the effect of, "Why are the people that lost the show at the Jersey Shore house?" And then today he tweeted, "Office is completely empty. We'll have a blog on this soon." And there was some ruckus out there. I saw the Stool Streams guys or the Stool Scenes guys were out there filming. So maybe some drama on today's episode.
Yeah, check out Stool Scenes. It comes out, I think we're usually like 5:30 or 6 on a Friday, so check that.
Yeah, the Stool.
Jack Mack loves to stir the pot.
He does.
I think.
I know, and it's funny that he loves to stir the pot because he seems like this unassuming dude that like gets along with everybody.
Does he seem like that?
I don't know.
You got a wrong read, Minty.
No.
You got a wrong read.
And I like Jack Mack. Jack Mack knows I love talking college football with Jack Mack. I love talking UFC with Jack Mack. I'm a Jack Mack guy, but it's always funny. Like these summer Fridays when obviously Davis in here, it's a little toned back. All you know is when you're here, Mincy, you're good.
Yeah, well, look, I want it known.
We're here. We're live. We're on camera.
My ass is
I'm right now
if
at HQ.
Our asses are in this office doing the show. Noted.
I'm here. That's it. I don't make comments on anyone else. That's
yeah, exactly.
I'm here. That's it.
Well, it's kind of look. This is my first full year here, but the vibe is we all know the Storm's coming here with football before, and it's going to be slamming 7 days a week the rest of the year, and so I feel like this does have a little bit of the casual Friday vibe. For
sure. I can't wait. I mean, especially it's nice July, just everything, especially when it's the nice weather. I think people even more. Obviously, people want to do stuff. You want to get out, go down the shore, 'cause especially here, like we're not too far, hour or so, hour and a half, depending on what beach you're going to. It's a weird summer Friday, man. I'm really excited just for a full day of baseball too.
Yeah, I'm glad to just get it back going again. We always talk about this being the deader time of year. The NBA Finals thing is helping immensely.
Oh yeah,
I love having this in July because during June, June is actually like underrated sports month because it's usually NBA and NHL Finals. Obviously, for me, College World Series is a big deal. That's always June. U.S. Open and golf. Yeah. Even if you want to get into French Open and Wimbledon and tennis, like June's kind of like underrated. There's a bunch of stuff.
You played tennis, right, Mitzi? That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow it. I know Djokovic just won Wimbledon. I wouldn't say I follow it like that strongly.
You were an athlete. You played tennis.
I mean, sure. I guess. I was when I was 13 or 14. I realized I was the fat kid in right field that was never gonna get on the field. So I realized I was like, I can either put everything into tennis and make something decent of myself, or there's no hope.
Put your chips in the basket. So I don't hate it.
That's kind of
strategic.
That's kind of the way I decided to go. But love the summer Friday, little laid back. But at least we got NBA Finals, and that'll run into next week. So Saturday, Game 6 is Tuesday, and
then
I guess
Thursday, if there was a Game 7, I believe it would be Thursday.
So because Game 6 would be Milwaukee, so they'd have a quick 2-day turnaround for Game 7.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure. I remember we were. I was talking about it with Rowan and Big Cat a few. I'm pretty sure it was Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, my roommate and producer, Playboy Marty, boy, he is anxious about this, man. He's his twin brother works for the Suns and helps run their media. He went to games 1 and 2. He heard about it from Dave on Twitter too, which I thought was pretty funny.
Honestly, one thing, Mitzi, I want to get your take on this. I was gonna bring it up the last time we talked about it, and I totally forgot. Big Playboy Marty guy. I thought it was so funny that he tweeted the picture with his twin brother, and then X'd out his face. They're twins.
Yeah, they're not identical though. They're not identical.
But still, he puts I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was a hilarious tweet that just put out like he was like my twin brother, and then it just like he just scribbled with the black like little pen thing over his face. I just thought that was like just a hilarious tweet. Another thing I know how he gets so lost in it was tied at halftime. And he was talking about that he felt like it was going to be a triple OT game.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet. I was like, what the hell is this tweet?
And it was hilarious.
Like, I thought that. I was very.
I could tell he meant it 1,000%. That was a tweet from the bottom of his balls, which I thought was just so funny. Because I saw someone tweeted after. Yeah, Za.
Yeah, why tweet it out at all?
I just think it's just hilarious to tweet out like my twin brother. Obviously, you don't have to be identical, but just so funny. Just scribble his name and just scribble his face out. I just thought that was hilarious.
I do too. I hope they win though. I'd like to see the Suns win it.
Oh, I do too, for sure. I would say I go back and forth because I've been a Suns rider all year. I've talked to you about it all year on different shows and stuff. That how high I've been in the Suns for a while, but. I love Milwaukee. I had a great time. When I went to Milwaukee I'm telling you, Milwaukee is the nicest people in the world, bar none. Great food, super nice people, nice little downtown area. Stayed at a nice hotel down there. Shot a video with this guy.
What'd you go to Milwaukee for?
So I shot a video with this guy. His name's Crumbles. He's a
Crumbles, huh?
He's a street like break dancer, and he went viral. He's a bigger guy like myself. And phenomenal dancer. He went viral at a Bucks game. I think it was maybe probably about 2.5 years ago. He went viral for dancing at the halftime of this game. He won this contest. So I went and shot a video with him. I ended up shooting a couple videos out there. I shot a food video out there. I went to Sobelman's. Shot at Sobelman's. This insane place. They have this thing called the Beast. It's $60. It's like a massive drink. So what they did was I believe it was a Bloody Mary, but I asked him to just make it like a double. This is the thing right here. I asked him. It's supposed to be a Bloody Mary. I asked him to make it a vodka lemonade.
Explain the anatomy. We have the bacon wrapped jalapeno cheese balls.
Here's the fries.
This is the bourbon bites. That's wrapped in chicken or.
This is the damnedest thing.
The slider, bacon cheese cracks. Okay.
It was just insane.
Your face, the wonder on your face was
because it's all these amazing fried foods on a stick in this massive vodka lemonade, and then there's literally an entire fried chicken on a stick on it. It was literally just a heart attack in a cup, but it was fucking.
So I'm guessing you're not a Bloody Mary. You got vodka lemonade because you don't like Bloody Marys.
Nah, it's not for me.
I still drink the virgin. I still drink a virgin Bloody Mary every now.
My mom likes them. She likes them with alcohol in them, but
yeah. Well, yeah, I used to too.
I'm not a big like the tomato juice. I don't know. It's just not for me. I see. My thing is
good with eggs. It's like a brunch kind of thing.
Yeah, my thing is I'm more if I'm gonna have a morning drink, I'm gonna have a screwdriver probably. Throw a little OJ in there. But yeah, Milwaukee. The best.
I've only been to Milwaukee once, and I went to the I saw a concert at the Riverside Theater through downtown. It's downtown, like 2,500, 3,000 person music venue. Love the people too. Great beer town. Great lot of good cheese, food.
The cheap mints. I swear to God, when I got there,
did you get some cheese curds?
So I did. I did there at Sobelman's. When I was only there for I think maybe like a day and a half, 2 days, and when I got there. It was a guy who used to work here, Jack Parker Elliott. We each got a burger in the lobby of the hotel, and I'm telling you, this is what blew me away, Mincy. It was just like a slice of cheese just on the burger, and it literally was the most like delicious cheeseburger I'd ever had in my life, and it was literally just it was up there at least, and it was just I swear to God, it was literally just in this hotel, and that cheese tasted so fucking good. I was like, this is for real. You come to Wisconsin, the cheese is legitimately better. It was like, for all I know, it could have been just a normal ass slice of American cheese. For all I know, it could have been Kraft. I don't think Wisconsin would do that, but it could have been. But all I know is it slapped different. It was fucking amazing.
Chat's kind of messed with me saying virgin Bloody Mary is just tomato juice. No, it's not. You get the Zing Zang Louisiana mix. It's got some heat in it. You throw some Worcestershire, some Tabasco. It ain't just tomato juice.
Really? You put that in a Bloody Mary?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. No, they like the Louisiana. Oh, yeah.
I knew there was Bloody Mary.
You got to throw the heat in it, man.
I knew there was Bloody Mary mix. I guess I just never really had one. Just not for me. I've been offered. Like I said, I always kind of just went a different direction.
Yeah, it's just not for you. Yeah, no. I like I said, I still, something about it I still enjoy, even with the no alcohol, I still enjoy the Bloody Mary mix. I don't know. It's just a thing. Speaking of something else I enjoy, and I'm going to enjoy even more when I drop some more weight, and that's Klutz Clothing. Fellas, the sport of business means demanding excellence from your craft and wardrobe. Your fits need to be versatile, blending timeless style and comfort so you look as good as you feel. For that, there's Klutz Clothing. They've taken a classic men's fashion staple, the plain tee, and refined it, combining premium quality with a minimalist aesthetic. In 2016, Klutz founder Steve Borelli set out to create clothes ready for every occasion the modern man faces. He started by reinventing the shirt. The end result, what GQ magazine calls the only shirt worth wearing, the signature buttery soft PYCA Pro Tri-Blend Tee. It's a bold new take on a classic design combining the ultimate blend of high-quality cotton, polyester, and spandex. It's not just a lifestyle. It's not just clothing. It's office leisure apparel for the sport of business. Get 15% off your first order by going to KlutzClothing.com/picks. That's KlutzClothing.com/picks for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. I also want to give a quick shout out. People were talking about the chat. We did a little poker night last night, F, on the Barstool Game Time.
Oh, yeah, I did see
on
that.
On Twitch. I cleaned those boys out.
See, that's why I couldn't play with you, because you're a professional, a former professional. You know what you're doing. I think I've said it to you before. I just don't have the patience for poker. I just get too. I don't know the strategy as well. I just haven't played as much. I get too squirrely. I think I'm just the kind of guy, when I have played, I always end up just getting bored kind of like 30 minutes in. See, my thing is I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to just slow play it, wait for it. Basically, what ends up happening with me is I play with a few friends, whatever, and then maybe like 6 to 10 hands in, I decide, all right, fuck it. The first time I get a good hand,
You're just pushing it.
I'm just going after it, and if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win.
My advice for that is, like, you kind of almost have to, like, be listening to music or, like, doing something else while you play poker to stay patient. Because if you're just playing poker, you can get a little antsy. So I like listen to music, or, you know, I make sure I'm paying attention to the game, but I might be doing something else to just kind of stay patient. But I ran pretty hot. It was like Smitty, White Sox Dave, Nate, myself, Ryan Reese, 2013 World Series of Poker champion, ended up joining us.
I did see that picture.
I coolered his balls off last night. Where, like, we had a hand at the end of the night where I have 2 red aces and raise, and somebody calls, and he makes a big re-raise, and then I 4-bet, make another really big raise, and he calls, and it comes king high, and he had ace king, and I just trapped him in there. I mean, that's just unfortunate for him. That's the worst flop he could get. King 3-4 with ace king when I have aces.
That's tough.
So I got him pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say that was total skill on that one, but yeah, I just got to say the platform we used on the Stool Game Time Twitch was cool, and what added to it was you had a video and us talking on there. So it was similar to online poker, but you actually could see our faces and us talking smack and interacting. And I love the platform, and I'm kind of hoping Stool Poker Night becomes something.
Awesome.
I had a really good time playing. We were, of course, playing for just biscuits and fun. You started with 2,000, and I left with like 18,000. So,
so you cleaned everybody out.
We ran pretty hot. White Sox Dave, probably not the best poker player.
I couldn't be less.
He got
shocked.
it all in with Jack 4.
I don't think I've ever been less shocked by anything in my life than that White Sox.
But he was fun to have in the game. He kept just saying, rebuy me again, rebuy me.
Of course he did.
Oh, but
let me ask you this. So if someone like, I guess I'll take it from my point of view, who doesn't know poker like that well, what would be the number one piece of advice that you would give to someone getting into poker? Like, just in terms of like strategy or like anything like that. Like, what would be the number one thing that you would tell them to be like to play poker well?
I think the biggest thing in poker is, especially if you're playing live, like everybody wants to get all nerded out and use all these online poker nerdy terminology stuff. It's all psychological. Like, my biggest advice is, like, what do the people you're playing with think of you? Do they think...
Interesting.
No, my thing is, like, do they think you're conservative? Like, are you sitting around, like, waiting on, like, really good hands and then folding the rest of the time? Or are you playing, like, a lot of hands, mixing it up? And you got to know, like, what... Like, for example, I see these old men that'll play poker, and they play, like, 2 hands every 2 hours. Well, hell, when you raise, if you play 2 hands every 2 hours... I know you've got a monster hand, and that's how I'm going to adjust to you. So you got to use that info against me and then use that to bluff me. Because if I see somebody playing 2 hands every 2 hours and they're showing strength, I'm going to fold. You know, you got to know that, like, that's what I'm going to think of you. And so, like, if that's why one of my biggest strategy things is kind of called the illusion of action, where I'm, like, in a lot of hands and I'm kind of poking around, prodding. But, like, I'm not, like, psychotic. I don't bluff off all my chips, but I'm mixing it up in a lot of pots to where people can't get a read on me. And so, like, when I do catch pocket aces or pocket kings, they don't know, like, oh, Mincy's raising, he has a great hand. You got to make them think. You got to keep them guessing is my biggest thing. And that's kind of my best advice, I guess. But it's really just like you see this in football a little bit. Like, you know how Stanford had that huge run in the Pac-12 for a while, even though they never had, like, the biggest 4 or 5-star athletes. But why did it work? They were running power with O-line, playing physical, and a conference full of spread offenses. K-State and the Big 12, similar.
Yep.
And same thing with poker. You want to be doing the opposite of everybody else, strategy-wise. If, like, you're at a table full of a bunch of crazy Asians that are going nuts, then you sit around and wait on good hands because they ain't going to fold. But if you're at a table full of, like, tight old men not playing, you just crank up the aggression. You just kind of want to be zigging when they're zagging. I don't know if I explained that
No,
right.
honestly, the whole time, especially when you were saying the psychological part, I thought you explained it perfectly. Because I think that's something on a service level of poker, like someone like me who hasn't, like, dove deep into the – listen, I love to play blackjack. So my mindset is I'm someone who my dad was always very kind of beat it into my head. My grandpa the same, like, play by the book, play by the book, play by the book. It's the most 50-50 game in the casino, and that's it. So I kind of play with the mindset of when I play blackjack, I'm in the casino, I don't think. Whatever they give me, that's how I respond to it. So I think when you're used to playing blackjack, and those are kind of more the type of card games I'm into and that I've been playing, I don't think into this. Like, there's no, like I said, when you play by the book, obviously there's no psychological strategy that, like, goes into it. Like, you just do
Well, yeah, you're
what
playing,
you're
you're
supposed
playing
to do.
And this is what I always tell people about poker, too. Like, when you go play, like, blackjack in a casino, you're never going to have the edge. But, like, Southern poker in Louisiana, Mississippi, I mean, I hate to say this, but, like, Louisiana, Mississippi are, what, 49th and 50th in education? That's the people you see at the poker table.
No, that's
it's the
fair.
redneck
That's fair.
trucker. You sit
That's
there.
more
Those are
than
the
fair.
people you're in there playing against. And so, like, when I always talked about poker, I never said I'm one of the best in the world. I'm not. I've never even remotely claimed that. But when I'm playing in the South, in Louisiana, Mississippi, I'm one of the best down there. I go to Vegas, and I'm, like, above average, Like, I'd come up to Borgata AC, and there's all these Ivy League online poker wizards up here. I mean, it's way tougher up here. But, like, in the South, when you play in, like, Louisiana, Mississippi, or Oklahoma, it's kind of, it's just anything in business, like big fish, small pond thing. You find where your thing works better.
No, that's fascinating because, like I said, like, just not being a poker guy, I guess I've never thought that deep about it. Like, that hasn't really crossed my mind about, like, who you're playing with and how it's so strategic. Obviously, I understood to some degree, like, there's a bunch of professional poker players. You see guys that make it to the top of the World Series, and you see similar names. So obviously it's skill based. You see guys get rich off online poker, stuff like that. You don't really see people walk around saying, "I'm a professional blackjack player." Like you said, you don't have the edge. But when you play something like poker, where that much psychological strategy goes into it, like everything you explained, I thought you explained it very well. Like that made a lot of sense to me. That I was like, you really can, and not even when you got to the saying, like talking about playing in a maybe average lower IQ areas. More like even when you were just saying about the strategy where you see like an old guy that doesn't really play much, when he plays two hands, he's going in.
The beauty of it is
those kind of things, like when you're looking
at, if you don't play many hands, like one of the best strategies ever is to not play any hands and make everybody think you're tight, and then you could get away with murder at the poker table. Because if anybody you're playing against is like, fairly smart and analytical, they're going to be like, oh, this dude's played two hands in an hour. When you're bombing it, they're going to fold good hands to you, the thing with poker, though, you don't do that against White Sox Dave. Because he ain't going to fold nothing. Like, you got to know, you got to bluff people that are thinking, like, analytically.
No, but even what you said about, like, getting a read on people around the table and just saying, like, hey, this guy's a little more aggressive. This person's not as aggressive. And even just the way you kind of portray yourself, where you have to, like you said, you have to kind of, like, play the game a little bit. You have to play the game inside the game and kind of go that route to do just, like, play around a little bit, not people leave them in a spot where they can't really get a read on you.
Yeah,
and kind of play that, like I said, play that game inside the game.
And, like, my other thing, too, like, one of my biggest strategies that always worked for me is my personality's just, there's no way of getting around it. I have a really loud personality. It is what it is. And so when I'm at a poker table and I'm like, I always try to talk to people, and, I don't like going in there. Like, I can't stand when people wear the hoodies and the big shades and the Bose earphones. Like, well, I just feel like the thing with poker is, like, these old guys, a lot of them, a lot of your suckers, to be truthful, are like old retired people. and they're in there enjoying their time, whatever they've done in life. They've been successessul at something.
They're just kind of like, they're just in there, like you're saying, kind of in a place where like they're more in there for leisure and you're in there to take their money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you don't want to go in there like they're in there for fun. Let them enjoy themselves, man. Interact with them. Talk smack. Enjoy them. Don't go in there and beat their heads in and be like a dickhead to them, because that makes them not want to walk back in the casino. And so, like, I'm always conscious of
that's you want. It's not you don't take him for a home run the first time. He hits singles.
I mean, they're in there like a lot of times you meet cool people at the table. Like if they're in there with a bunch of money at a poker table and retired, then they've probably been successful at something in life. So I don't know. I just think that one of the biggest mistakes the younger generation does is they run off a lot of the suckers at the poker table, just kind of like acting above them, and so that drives me crazy. And so the Southern poker, everybody's always a lot more friendly at the table. But just even playing last night, though, and then I was talking about it a lot on the show yesterday, the World Series, because that was 10 years ago when I got 75th in Maine. Man, I'm excited to get it going again. And I know we've got some plans for the World Series. The World Series of Poker is usually right now, well, because of COVID, it's in October and early November. I mean, what the hell is Halloween in Vegas going to be like around the World Series, Maine?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be nutty.
And then
I've never been. That's the one of the real big things that I haven't done yet is I haven't gone to Vegas.
Well, and then the M Resort, which is a Penn property, it's very nice. It's in Henderson, so it's about 15 minutes from Vegas suburb. That's the official hotel and casino of the Raiders, too.
Okay, love
and
that.
So I'm really hoping to get out there. They haven't reopened their sports book yet, but I think it should be open for the fall. Man, I hope we can get out there, man. Let's do Vegas content.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do
Mincy, I would love to go to Vegas. As a gambling man for quite some time that hasn't gone to Vegas yet, I think it probably would have happened in the last year or so if COVID wasn't a thing. We need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Got to get to Vegas.
So it's one of those things, man.
I need to see Mincy shaking that ass at a pool party. Classic Vegas pool party. Mincy
it could happen.
Turned up in the pool, bunch of smokes around. Maybe like Diplo playing a set or something like Calvin Harris.
There you go. I used to love
someone's got a residency.
I like Big Gigantic with the sax a lot out of the EDM.
All right.
Yeah, I used to like Pretty
I'm to be honest, I'm not even like a big EDM guy.
No,
I just know the big names, but in a certain environment, certain atmosphere, I don't hate it.
Now, Ev, I'm curious too. This is my first fall, and I don't want to I'm going out of my way to the beauty of Barstool is you never know where you're going to be at any time. So I'm not making literally. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do, but I'm not saying I'm doing anything. I'm going to completely whatever Dave and Big Cat and the company wants me to do. I'm ecstatic to do. So I don't want to be making plans or being annoying all that. But man, this fall is going to be. Having said that. This fall is going to be freaking insane.
It's going to be awesome.
I mean,
I just can't wait for it to just be for real. See, I'm used to I know the deal already. I pretty much my weekends in the falls are booked. I know I'm always streaming college football Saturdays. Sometimes doing some stuff on Sundays too. I'm very thankful that live shows are back for college football shows. So going to be doing some traveling this year that I didn't do last year. I'm very excited about that. It's probably one of my favorite things I do. I do the live shows. I love the energy of the live shows.
Being on campus.
I'm the guy with the mic in the crowd. I love just being around, being in the midst with the people, just chopping it up with them. A lot of drunk people, but drunk people, they are my people.
The beauty of Barstool, I've noticed, and like I said, I'm still getting adjusted to it. But man, I love taking it on the road.
It's a blast, Mincy. In the way, I have so much love for the people that have come out to those shows because we've had some incredible crowds, and they treat us like kings and queens, man. They show us so much love. I'm so appreciative of anyone's listening who's went to one of the college football shows, the live shows. God bless. I'm super excited to get back doing it this year. I really missed only doing I missed that we were just doing the studio shows last year. I really miss being out on the road.
I'm getting some comments in the chat asking about the Louisiana Barstool Sportsbook stuff. We don't have a date on it yet. Louisiana's still figuring out the infrastructure. They're trying to get the sports gambling by the fall to get it for football season. As far as our app goes, I don't know if it would be ready by then. So all that's still up in the air. I do think, for me, just being honest, I mean, I feel like I'm here to help build the South. I'm probably not going to be around the North stuff as much. I think they want me going into Louisiana and Mississippi. And, in the same vein, you're all about Ohio State and the Big Ten. I think we're kind of I don't want to say we're regionalized because we go around doing everything. But I think that's kind of what I'm waiting on that front. And that's a big part of why we hired Megan, I would think, is because of Louisiana. And, when you look at Penn Gaming, Louisiana is one of Penn's biggest states. We've got LeBair's Lake Charles is super nice, which is only an hour and a half from Houston. LeBair's Lake Charles, right by LSU, or LeBair's Baton Rouge, right by LSU. Margaritaville, Bossier Cities. Margaritaville, Bossier City, by the way. If we get a Barstool Sports book in there, it's 100 yards from my old radio studio in Bossier. It's hilarious. Like, I was back there. I'm like, I was back there New Year's eating in their steakhouse, and I was like, I'm 100 yards from old studio, and I've never felt farther away from somebody in my entire life. But the Louisiana stuff I'm excited about, and, we'll see what happens. The October, though, freaking Jazz Fest in New Orleans is in October. LSU's hosted Florida and Auburn.
Wow.
Halloween, New Orleans this year. Voodoo Fest, they've also, which is the big music fest. Tom Brady in Tampa, 3:25 kickoff on Halloween Sunday in the Superdome.
Wow.
That's because Halloween falls on a Sunday. And I'll spare
That's
it.
a massive New Orleans sports
and my
weekend.
favorite band ever is playing their Halloween 3-night run.
Widespread Panic?
Yeah, they're in New Orleans Halloween Sunday night. So
That's Mitzi's Super Bowl.
Oh, God, yeah. No, that's like my two favorite things ever, Superdome, Into Panic. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not putting any of this on my calendar. I don't want to do that, at all. I'm just going to see what happens. But Dave's been hinting about getting me in a van and taking it to the people. So, I don't know. There's just too much to be excited about talking about this fall.
For sure. I can't wait, man. I'm sure. I know I don't think I can talk about the exactly where we're going for some of the shows. If you can imagine, obviously we're promoting the sports book. Gonna be definitely in some Penn States doing some shows there. Gonna be we're gonna have some more states, I believe.
More coming.
We got more coming by football season, so those ones we'll probably be doing some stuff in too.
It looks like we're gonna probably be doing show. I don't want to say too much, but
there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what. Just give it a hint to the people. Probably some Penn States will be in. It's gonna be
that's fair enough.
Fucking awesome time.
And I'm getting so Thanksgiving. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. So the Saints host the Bills on Thanksgiving night, and the Egg Bowl is Thanksgiving night too. And I was bummed. I don't know what we're going to do about the Egg Bowl this year. I'm sure we'll do something. I actually think me and Brandon may just have to go. It's in Starkville. But I don't know. It's too early to tell, but it's like my mind is racing just talking about the fall because there's just so much to be so excited about. And, hey, look, this summer's kind of flown. Omaha ate into it. But, man, we're sitting here today, man. We're looking at today's July 16th?
I think 17th or 16th.
We're literally
16th.
We're gonna have 2 weeks for football training camps to open, and man, the second camps open in August, you're getting all the position battles of college football. You're getting your fantasy football drafts going. Literally August to me, people hate on it. I always get super pumped in August about sports. You said you've been getting the Phil Steele out, right?
Yeah, for sure. Got my Phil Steele book. It's so crazy how big this book is and how small the print is, Mincy. I don't know how many of you bought them over the years. It's a fucking awesome book. Anyone who needs that college football information, wants to get that little fix in the summer, I would definitely recommend it. It's great.
Oh man, he kills it. And I've been reading that. I've been reading like Phil Steele and Athlon and Lindy's back to when I was like 12 or 13 years old. It's almost like an annual rite of passage.
And I think what August is, Mincy, is that it's the calm before the storm. You're close enough that you can taste it, but you're just not quite. It's like you can taste it because you can smell it. You know what I mean? Like it's right there in front of you, but you just can't quite have your cake yet. But it's there. You see it. You're coming. There's going to be football games, I believe, with August dates on them. You got that week 0. I think we got even a Hawaii, UCLA.
It's 43 days away. I think it's Illinois plays on that first day. 43 days.
Man,
there you go.
And then Ole Miss is the Monday night Labor Day against Louisville in Atlanta.
Is that who they lead?
Yeah, but it's the Monday night prime time. It's great for the brand.
Ohio State's first. We had our first games against Minnesota, and I believe it's September 2nd, I believe, and then week 2 Oregon.
Yeah, the week 2 Oregon's going to be super, super hyped.
One more teaser before we hit this last ad.
Yeah, we're going to hit it.
I hadn't people in the chat, you might want to get your phones ready for next week. We have some hardware being installed in the tech room, so we might be able to talk directly to the chatters.
Okay.
Like we used to.
I've been doing a lot. I
love that.
I always compliment Brandon on this. I'm like I said, I've had 5 years of sports radio hosting experience, and that's why I'm good at reading ads. I've done all this. But Brandon does such a good job interacting with the chat. When we were in Omaha, Brandon was interacting with the crowds at DJ's dugout, and that's influenced me. I'm doing a lot better job now, being comfortable interacting with the chat. And I respect him as a host for doing it.
Shout out to the chat, man. Love you guys. God bless.
The chat, yeah, they're diehard.
God
bless. Appreciate the chat. That's the heartbeat of the show, and I'm really making a point to do better with that. All right, let's talk about IP Vanish. IPVanish is a virtual private network, a VPN for short. A VPN is a super important tool that helps you safely browse the internet. You can use a VPN on your computers, tablets, phones, even things like your Fire Stick when you're streaming media. When you use a VPN, all your data is encrypted. What you're reading, what you're searching, and what you're watching is all protected. If you care about the security of your online activity, the easiest way to protect yourself is with an IPVanish VPN. Get started with this limited time offer and save 65% off monthly and annual subscriptions by going to IPVanish.com/central. One more time, that's IPVanish.com/central, all lowercase. We're getting back to it. Got some picks for today. Baseball, MLB starting back up. Ev, you're probably right. Kind of thinking the Yankees probably not going to play again today. They hadn't announced it yet. But
it doesn't seem like
exactly.
When you got, especially with TJ brought it too, the fact that Judge has it and he was literally just at the All-Star game. There's probably a lot of contract tracing they've got to go over, so it doesn't seem too likely to me that they even play this year. At least I'm sure they'll make it up, obviously, but it doesn't seem like they're going to play. But we got some day action. We got a 2 o'clock game. We got Twins-Tigers. We got a 4 o'clock game. We got Marlins-Phillies, I believe.
I'm loving – I feel like day sports, we're getting more and more of it as we get older. I mean, like, I don't know.
We still
need more. We always need more.
The baseball is still – there's certain days where it's just like, why are there not sports on? Or not sports. Why are there not baseball on during the day? There's so many days where it's just like baseball. Like you can own the day. You can own that day. When we are sports, Mitzi, I'm a fiend for sports. I'm a sports junkie. I'm a fiend.
And you are a fiend for afternoon gambling.
I love that responsible gambling, but I'm a fiend for just. I love to get a little day action. I do
too. Well, we also just this being on this Eastern time zone, man. These 10:30 starts out west are just, I know I sound like the withered old man, but that's because that's what I am now.
See,
I can't do these 10:30 starts.
The Eastern time zone's all I know. I've spent literally like 99.9% of my life in it, so Eastern time zone, it's all I know. Whenever I go somewhere else, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'll tell you, I like Chicago's time. I like Central.
Oh yeah, Central time zone, guys.
Because I think NFL starting at 12 would be awesome. I'm a guy who listen to college football Saturday. I'm up early anyway. So I mean, like 11 o'clock start, no issue for me at all.
One of my biggest problems with the Eastern, it's like usually like we used to get off work and the 6 o'clock start for sports to be like right when you get off. Like I used to be 3 to 6 p.m. was my show. The second I got off the show, sports are starting, and like you're up here, and it's like that wait from that 6 to 7 hour, and then like Monday Night Football is 8:20, Sunday Night Football 8:20. It's just that extra hour. You'd think it wouldn't be a big deal, and it's a really big deal. Like how?
Oh yeah,
it's miserable.
Oh yeah.
All right, we got to get to picks. TJ, do we have standings for this month by chance? I just hadn't seen them yet.
So because we were in Omaha and then the week off, we really only have like 3 picks each at this point. Like,
okay,
I know you gave out picks.
I was like tweeting at the Barstool Sportsbook at Pick Central.
It's gonna like throw off everything if you have like 30 picks and everybody else has like 5 picks.
Okay.
So I think what we'll probably do is just have it start from this week. At which point,
that's fine. Whatever. Hey, all I'm gonna say is this: huge shout out to TJ. His performance in Omaha was unbelievable.
Hell yeah!
You had to juggle the social for Brandon, help Carl and me. Run Pick Central every day. I mean, you freaking killed that trip. I mean, that Omaha trip.
Guy was working till midnight last night with the Jackals. He's here today.
That I'm telling you, that Omaha trip was massive. I mean, I can't be more happy with how that turned out, despite the fact I lost all my picks and bar travel.
I was talking to people last night. Last night was my 17th baseball game in the last like 22 days or something like that, because Omaha was 14 games. I went to a doubleheader on July 4th, and then last night.
Man.
So, a lot of baseball.
All right, let's get to these picks today. First, you want to put up the other guys? I know we've got a couple minutes left here.
Brandon and Marty didn't submit picks, but here's Rico's.
Okay. Tigers game 1 for Rico. He's got the Mets money line, the Padres minus 139, and the Cardinals money line. Ev, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I got Marlins game 1. Then I'm on the White Sox money line as dogs against the Astros. I'm on the Nationals money line as dogs, and I believe they're playing the Padres. And I got the Blue Jays minus 1.5. And also, I forgot I didn't tweet it out. I'm going to be on the Tigers. I believe I got them at plus 100.
Do you have them? So that's game 1.
Game 1. I got Tigers game 1. It's a 2 o'clock start.
Okay, I'm on the Twins in game 2. The one Maeda's pitching today. I've been riding the A's. I mean, it's kind of ironic too, because like I got so much rightful heat for how bad college was. We're doing all right in MLB.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people have been sleeping on me as a gambler lately. The last like 3 months, I've been doing damn good. I think I'm up over 20 units in baseball this season.
There you go.
I'm having a great baseball season, so I'm feeling good about it. It's been a pretty good summer for me.
Well, I've got the Reds today. It's about picking against the Brewers. I've got Oakland by a 1.5, and then I've been riding those Oakland team totals over 4.5. They were on fire for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just hitting them, and I was hitting them like it was like White Sox versus lefty level. It was just all the time. Kind of cooled down a little bit, but we're back on it. Like that Oakland lineup, and that's kind of my picks for today. Leaning toward the Suns tomorrow, right now too.
I'm gonna be on the Suns. Like you said, the home team's 4-0 against the spread. I'm gonna keep riding that wave. I think Chris Paul bounces back. I'll tweet it out tomorrow. I'll tweet out some baseball picks and the Suns pick to confirm. But 99.9% sure I'm gonna be on the Suns lane 4.
Also want to mention, I'm going to get out. I'm really all about sport in New Orleans and New York. I'm going to Garcia's tonight. Anybody wants to get out and see some music by Portchester Cap Theater, seeing the Funky Meters bassist George Porter, trying to keep some funk in my soul. Ev, got any big weekend plans?
Got to bring the car home. Might be going to the Hamptons, actually. My friend just hit me up, so
Ooh.
We'll see what happens.
TJ, y'all are freaking awesome. Love working with y'all every day. Stay tuned. The Yak is up next. We'll have Brandon Walker and Mush and Rico and everybody back on Monday. Have a safe summer weekend.
God bless.